Hey guys, Derek here from the Clearsound Team, and I'm here with my beautiful, amazing wife, Laura Kelly. And today we want to talk to those of you who feel stuck, who feel like you need to persevere and gain endurance in your business, but you feel like, man, I've been trying. Maybe you just started up, or maybe you've been doing this for a while and you just feel kind of overwhelmed and burnt out and want to persevere, but just don't know how. I think we know what that's like, right? Over the past 7 years, right? Brad started what is now Clearsound back in 2013, and he helped a local dive bar become more like an Applebee's, a place where people wanted to go, wanted to visit, and wanted to hang out. And I think we've seen what that's like. I remember when we first got married and when I first started helping Brad 7 years ago, I think I made like $300 or $400 for the first couple months. It was rough, but we were learning and we were persevering and we were enduring. So what does that look like for you as someone, I don't have that business background. I've developed it. I've learned it over the past 7 years. And I feel like we've been able to help several dozen clients. But what does it look like for you to be, alongside of me and to be persevering with me as we grow in helping clients succeed and helping them grow their business and connect with their audience?
I think, first of all, perseverance, endurance, that's a constant process. It's not
Yeah.
just something that you learn and then, you're good. You don't have to do that any longer. But it's
Right.
every step of the way, you're constantly persevering and enduring no matter what you're doing, whether you're launching a new product, a new service, a new business, hiring more people, whatever you're doing, perseverance, it's always part of the process. So I think it's just, and looking back at past successes that we've had, has really helped, because sometimes you can become fearful and you can think, oh, I'm going to do this thing and it's going to fail, because I
Right.
have these other failures. But looking
Right.
the times when we've been able to look back at our past successes and realize, we succeeded in this area, we know what
Yeah.
this looks like, we know we can do this, then that really gives us hope for the future, that our future endeavors are going to be successful.
Yeah.
So that's been really important.
Yeah, and I think what we've learned, I think creating company culture, right? And some of you may say, "Hey, I'm a solo entrepreneur, like it's just me." Well, let me encourage you that you may work with a vendor. If you're running Facebook ads or Google ads, you may have somebody who's helping you do that. Or if you're in e-commerce, you may have somebody printing your shirts. There's people we're all working with. And so I think creating a culture where people can get behind what you're moving toward, I think makes you not feel so alone, makes you know that you can persevere longer, right? And celebrating those wins. We talk a lot about celebrating small wins. I think often, I was just sitting at the team the other day and, Jess had done something excellently. And I said, Jess, this client wants to help you on, wants you to do this project, like own it. And she was excited, but it's also scary. But we were able to celebrate that win and then use that as a building block to propel us forward. And I think a lot of times people don't spend enough time celebrating those wins and building that culture. Because, you were talking about it before we got live here, you were talking about the importance of knowing who you are. And I think often as an entrepreneur, you got into business by accident, right? We've had a few clients like, hey, I started a business 25 years ago because I was in my parents' attic trying this thing out and it just happened. And then I got all these phone calls and it was like, I was working 20 hours. Like, that's not a one client story. There's 3 or 4 clients that have had a similar story to that. Or others of you have had this vision where you just know that you want to change the status quo, right? And we've seen that over and over again. But it can feel lonely at the top. I remember sitting with a client. He was running for a high political office. And he said, Derek, it's really lonely at the top. And I thought to myself in that moment, I thought, man, if I do one thing in life and I do one thing in life well, I want to build a team. Because a lot of business owners, we know our identity, we know our vision, but we have to get people around the vision, right? That's what you've seen this process of developing this live stream studio, this setup that we have behind us. It's been years in the making because it's taken time to get people around the vision that we're building. And let me tell you, it's not about us, right? It's never been about us. We're not in this to make thousands of dollars. We're developing an e-course because we've learned a framework that we believe can help people, right? And what have you seen that development as a person be? What have you seen that process? It's taken longer, right? I guess talk about that.
if you think about, oh, this has just taken a lot longer, it's cost more than we thought it was going to, then that can become very discouraging. But if we look back over the past year or two and we realize, wow, like look at all the steps that we've taken, look at this has become a reality. This
Yeah.
started out as a concept in Derek's brain, and now, it's real. We have the set, we have the equipment, we have the lights, the team, the content. We have all these pieces because we were able to stick with the process and keep going, even though it was taking longer than we thought it was, and it was more complicated, and there were, issues that we ran into along the way that we didn't anticipate. So I think if you're able to look back over, your past and you're able to see those successes, or if you're just starting out, you're able to be encouraged by other people's stories. If you have a friend, a mentor, anybody that's encouraging you, you're able to see, wow, yeah, this person did this. They were faithful. They just kept taking these steps, and then eventually it worked out for them. So I think that's the same for us, and that's been our process. I think with pretty much every new thing that we've launched or tried to do, it's been a process, and some have always taken longer than
we've
what
wanted.
we've
But
thought it would take.
I think we've learned that that's actually the right way to do it, right? Let me tell you that I don't think that. I know and I believe that it is so good to develop who you are and the thing that is inside of you. I believe we're all on the planet and we all have a unique purpose. And if you're a business owner and you want to stand out from the noise and make a difference, join this community. That's what we're about. We want to create authentic messaging to stay true to who you are, to stay true to who we are. I think we both have a high value of integrity. But I think the thing we've learned is that it takes stretching to serve clients well. It takes stretching to keep moving because we always want to provide a fair price to people. We always want to be serving people, under promise, over deliver, right? We want to under promise and over deliver because we have a high value of integrity. I don't want to get to the end of my life and be like, man, I didn't serve a lot of people. We made a ton of money. Like that's not a high value for me. And listen, if you're in a situation where you're in crisis financial mode, I understand the need to make money. That's not what we're saying. It's really important to have a business that's financially viable, right? That's real. But I've recognized the value in having a process that we can stick to. So let's talk about that for a couple minutes. The value of having a process that you can stick to. I think our process has been the number one guiding star in the things that we're doing, right? It's been that kind of northern light, is to have a process. Yeah, the process hasn't been bulletproof. You can't plan for COVID, right? But what does that process look like for you of, knowing our plan, knowing our audience, knowing our messaging, and knowing our channels, and keep taking steps toward that as we make sure our team is aligned. That's something I want to talk about right after you jump into processes. How do we make sure our team's aligned as we persevere, as we have endurance? Because all those things fit together to create a lot of clarity, purpose, and vision. So yeah, what does that process look like?
Yeah, I think for us, it's looked like having a clear plan, having the 12-month, 18-month, 2-year, 3-year goals, and then being able to have some smaller objectives, some smaller metrics, to really be able to plot the path, plot the course to accomplish that, because that's really what gives definition to the day-to-day things that we're doing. If we can see how it connects to that long-term vision and how we're making progress along the way, then we're able to keep going and stay encouraged and, measure things and readjust the course or the path if we find that it's off, or, get the team on board. So I think just having that clear foundation, those clear plans, something that kind of anchors us. So as you are busy and, I'm sure a lot of you have that same issue. You get pulled in a ton of different directions every day, whether it's contractors or employees or, vendors, whatever. And it can be difficult to stay anchored to the vision that you set, those goals that you're trying to move towards. But if you have those shorter term objectives and metrics, things that you're tracking along the way, then you can realize, okay, I am moving, toward that goal in the right direction, because here's how this connects with this goal and this, vision. And you can start to encourage yourself and make sure that you're doing the things that matter each day and that your team is on board with those things as well.
Yeah. And I think so when we connect process and that plan, right? Having a plan that you can progress toward is really what I'm saying here. As we connect that process to perseverance, to endurance, we recognize, oh, having a plan actually allows me to endure longer. Having a purpose allows me to persevere longer, right? If that's a snippet you want to take from this video, if you've watched this video and you're like, what can I take? Having a plan will help you persevere and endure longer. And I think we've learned as development, as people, right? We're business owners, but a lot of us become business operators where everything is on us, right? I can run Facebook ads, Google ads, Twitter ads, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I can do it all. I can build websites, whatever you need. I can write copy, great. But recognizing the importance of, wow, if I want to take this vision from me and go from business operator to business owner, then I need to empower people and I need to serve people really, really well. And that takes almost like a dying inside, right? It takes a dying to self. It takes killing the selfishness inside of us and recognizing that, wow, I need to learn how to get this thing out of me in a way that's healthy, in a way that I can empower other people to own this vision, like we talked about with Chipotle, right? The brand becomes something that people can really get behind. And that means often, right? You've seen it with our marriage and in our life and in our business, that often that process takes longer than we thought. But I think that's right, don't you?
Yeah.
I think that actually serves people the best because it actually allows, right? We teach a lot about messaging that stays true to who you are. It allows us to get a clear plan, to know who our audience is, to get clear messaging, and then to move on the right channels. That's the framework we've developed. And that's the framework that if you're tuning in, I would love for you to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button if you're on Facebook, and follow us in this movement of helping entrepreneurs just like you learn how to get unstuck and move forward with a clear plan, clear messaging, a clear audience to connect with your audience and grow your business. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. We'll see you in the next episode.